You're looking for a kitchen workhorse that won't quit after a few weeks, that's easy to live with day in and day out, and that actually gives you the bang for the buck you need when you're serving a crowd. Maybe you've already tried a smaller toaster oven that stalled halfway through a batch of muffins, or you've watched a pricey digital unit take forever to heat up and still leave you guessing about the crust. You want something reliable, something that fits into a busy workflow without adding a new layer of complexity, and you certainly don't want to spend your hard-earned money on a machine that looks good on paper but ends up gathering dust. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. That's the exact place the Cadco XAF 193 lands. It's a heavy-duty countertop convection oven built for commercial environments, but its design is simple enough that you don't have to be a seasoned chef to make it work. The biggest hesitation most buyers have is the trade-off between raw power and convenience. A 120-pound steel box with manual knobs feels like an industrial beast, and the fact that it needs a 208240V line can make a home-based operator pause. At the same time, those who have walked a kitchen floor at a bakery or a catering prep line know that a sturdy, no-frills oven can actually save you time and headaches in the long run. Let's step back a moment and talk about the category itself. Countertop convection ovens sit between the small toaster oven you keep on a kitchen counter and the full-size deck ovens you'd find in a restaurant. They use a fan to circulate hot air, which means faster, more even cooking, great for everything from crisping pizza crusts to baking dozens of croissants at once. In a commercial setting, the ability to keep a steady temperature and to handle humidity is often the difference between a pass on a health inspection and a failed batch. That's why you'll see NSF certification listed alongside the heavy-gauge stainless steel housing. It tells you the oven meets the same sanitation standards you'd need for a deli or a coffee shop. Now, who actually benefits from the Cadco XAF 193? If you run a small to medium catering business, a food truck that needs to bake on the-go, or a specialty coffee shop that wants to pop a batch of pastries every half hour, this oven checks a lot of boxes. Its manual controls are straightforward. You dial in the temperature, set the humidity level, and you're ready to go. There's no menu to scroll through, no software updates, just a reliable knob that won't freeze up after a few months. The humidity function is a real plus for bakers who need that extra moisture to get a glossy crust on artisan breads or a tender crumb on cinnamon rolls. And because the unit is built to NSF standards, you can feel confident during a health inspection that the surfaces can be wiped down without fear of hidden crevices. On the flip side, if you're a home cook who just wants to reheat leftovers or bake a quick batch of cookies, the XAF 193 is overkill. First, you'll need a 3-phase power supply or a dedicated 208240V circuit, which most residential kitchens don't have. Installing that can add extra cost and time, something you probably don't want to tackle for a hobby appliance. Second, the manual controls, while simple, lack the precision of a digital interface. You won't get a built-in probe or a programmable timer that remembers multiple recipes. That means you'll have to rely on your own timing and a separate timer if you need exactness. Finally, the weight and footprint are non-trivial. At 120 pounds, you'll need at least 2 people to move it, and its countertop depth will eat up a significant chunk of space in a small kitchen. Let's walk through a real-world scenario to see how those strengths and weaknesses play out. Imagine you're operating a downtown food truck that serves breakfast sandwiches and fresh pastries. You need to bake a dozen croissants every 20 minutes while also toasting bagels for sandwich assembly. The Cadco's convection fan gets the oven up to 425F in under 5 minutes, so you're not waiting for the oven to warm up while customers line up. You set the humidity knob to a low level, which helps the croissants rise without drying out, and you slide the tray in. Because the oven's temperature holds steady even as you open the door, the next batch of bagels gets the same crispness as the first. In this setting, the manual knobs mean you can adjust on the fly without digging through a digital menu, and the stainless steel interior wipes clean in seconds, a lifesaver when you're moving from one rush to the next. Contrast that with a small home kitchen where you only bake a loaf of sourdough on the weekend. You'd have to install a dedicated high-voltage outlet just for this oven, and you'd likely end up using only a fraction of its capacity. The manual temperature dial, while dependable, doesn't give you